And we're live. PKA. Can I do that? Have we done the beans and the girlfriend story?
We haven't. With bated breath, I await.
Yes, I promise you. Beans. I think it's gonna exceed your expectations.
Okay, no, I don't have low expectations. I'm very.
Oh well,
curious.
I take it back then. Now it won't. All right, so here it is. Today I fucked up by demanding that my girlfriend show me where she buried the beans in the woods. All right.
Oh, God. I
admit I posted a version of this relationship in the relationship subreddit the other day, but they closed it with no explanation, yada, yada, yada. With all that going on... All right, I'm sorry. Let me start over. I assume because they decided it was fake. I can see how they might think that, but this is true. This is a thing that happened and is happening, and now there's more to it. I actually got broken up with it. With all that going on...
I know I'm interrupting this on purpose. Every time someone starts a story that way, that's how I know it's true.
Yes, with all that going on, we had stocked up on supplies, including some canned goods. I ordered a few weeks ago and 30 cans of beans. 10 black beans, 10 kidney beans, and 10 are pink beans. I also ordered 15 cans of chickpeas. I thought this would be a reasonable amount of beans and chickpeas to have every now and then. It would last for some time. This is 3 months ago. Is coronavirus stocking up?
Okay.
However, earlier this week, I opened the cabinet because I wanted to make a vegetarian chili using 2 cans of beans. All of the beans were gone. What the hell? So I asked my girlfriend, and she told me she buried all of the beans in the woods. At first, I thought she was joking, but she explained no. She had buried these beans in the woods. What the fuck? I asked her to explain, and she told me that she was afraid that if things get bad, we might have to worry about looters or whatever, and that the beans would be in danger of being stolen. I thought that was completely ridiculous and unlikely, and she got angry at me and said she's protecting our beans. According to her logic... The beans are safely buried in the woods behind our apartment complex, and if we ever need to get some beans, we'll go to the stash, dig up a can or two, but I'd prefer it if we could save them, just in case things get worse. I said, why only bury the beans? Why not bury our more valuable items? She said the canned food was our most valuable item for long-term means, and that since we have fresh food and online grocery deliveries, it would make sense to continue to stockpile more beans. She intends to go bury more beans in the woods every week. This was too insane for me, and I got really upset. I demanded that we go to where the beans are buried, and she refused to tell me. She said that if I knew, she was afraid I would dig up the beans. And I said, damn right I would dig up the beans. And she said, I will never jeopardize the beans. So the following day, I tried to put my foot down. I'm not usually a foot downer, but there are rare issues where compromise is out of the question, and I foolishly decided that this was one of those issues. I demanded to know where the beans were buried, and I told her that if she was going to bury the beans I paid for in the woods, that I would move out. We fought about it, and I kept insisting. In hindsight, I should have just let it go and created my own hidden stash of beans in the apartment and given her time to cool down about this bean buying scenario. But I blew it all out of proportion. And it's weird to bury the beans in the woods, but why do I have to press it? What's the harm at the end of the day? In the grand scheme of things, but I kept demanding her to take me to the beans, or at least draw a map or something.
Take me to the beans.
Finally, she broke up with me over the beans. I've lost the love of my life because I couldn't let the damn beans go. I am in disbelief. She has moved out. Now, I am not only heartbroken, but I'm now paying full rent instead of 50%, which is a huge financial issue.
Beans.
Too long, didn't read. I kept demanding that my girlfriend showed me where she buried the beans in the woods, and she got so angry at me, she ended our relationship and moved out. My heart is shattered, and my finances are jeopardized because of a bean hoard.
No. Fuck that bean whore. Fuck that bean burying bitch. All right? This is nonsense. Women have no concept of what fucking society falling apart is. There's gonna be so much rape. It always comes back to rape. Those beans are not gonna be what they're looking for. You're gonna wish that you had left the beans in the house.
They're gonna be looking for your bean.
Yeah, they're gonna be. So you're gonna wish that there were more beans in the house so they'd have something to do other than rape
something
you
else
more.
To flick.
That's what they're going to be flicking is your beans, bitch. And your husband's going to be dead in the gutter with an empty stomach because you buried the beans.
And you know what? She definitely didn't do? She definitely didn't bury the beans in the correct way. She definitely just threw cans of beans in the ground and threw dirt on top of it. And it's like, bitch, those beans are going to be ruined so fast that dirt's going to eat right through them. Come on. Be smart.
6 months.
Be smart when you bury your beans.
Those beans were already ruined if this was the beginning of quarantine. Already ruined. The labels have peeled right off. You don't know what kind of beans you're getting.
Dude, if I came home one day, any day, and my girlfriend had hidden a huge amount of food in the woods, that would be an immediate problem. It wouldn't be we're going to see how this plays out. It would be what the fuck are you doing burying beans in the woods, you retard?
We go back to
what?
To Kyle's complaint that you won't know what beans they are in case you're making your post-apocalyptic chili. And
he's unearthing a can and he's like, is this it? No. It's already full up on Pinto. Fuck.
There's a follow-up to this story. There's a subreddit that I had never heard of called R Metal Detecting, where they got all enthusiastic and they're like, dude, I'll help you find those beans. No, I'll help you find these beans. And these metal detector enthusiasts offered to help him find his beans, which I think is great.
I need an update. Did they find the goddamn beans?
I don't know.
How many maybe I missed it because as the story got better and better, I was like, wait, what? I really got tuned in.
30 cans of beans.
Holy shit!
45 cans if you include the chickpeas.
That's so many beans.
I don't know. How big is a can of beans? I'm picturing like tuna fish.
Dude, this bitch can go fuck herself. No, that's so many beans to go hide. A can
of beans is this big. It's like a soda can.
Okay.
Yeah, but 49 of those?
45.
What I'm saying is 40 or 50 cans of beans is a huge amount of beans.
Of course. And she stole them for herself.
Look, I'm so
weirdest
petty.
thing.
I'm so petty, and I get so
frustrated. You want it for yourself, Bilbo Baggins.
I'll tell you what I would have done, and I'm not even kidding. I would have called the law. I would have called the fucking police, and I would have told them. First, I get some evidence, right? I text message her, hey, about those beans that you took out of the cabinet and hid. I paid for those. Can we at least both agree upon that? She's like, well, yeah, you paid for them. Okay. I feel like I should know where they are. Will you tell me right now where the beans are? No, I can't do that.
Sting.
I'm setting her up. I'm setting her up. This is a bean sting. All right. Then I call Johnny Law. All right. And when he shows up, I show him the text messages from the bean bandit. And one of two things is going to happen. Either she's going to lead us to the burial site of said beans, or she's going to jail.
Or third option, the cops will laugh at you and possibly shoot you for doing that.
I'm white, okay?
Just laugh.
But what if they also had a loved one steal their beans? You haven't considered that.
Oh, they could be being sympathetic.
We've seen this before, sir.
I've called the
Just
cops.
Step outside.
I called the cops.
We'll take it from here.
When shit was stolen off my porch and I had the person's face on video, I called the cops and they were like, we don't care. Not gonna 45 cans of beans. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, that's a very cheap thing, but think about the future.
Oh, yeah,
what I was thinking that you were going to say, Woody, is that this chick was going to try and plant cooked beans.
That's funny too.
In the woods, and that would have been infuriating.
Like the whole can, like she's not even bothering to open the can. No, she's just putting the can in the ground, thinking a whole like a
life
tree that's
finds
gonna,
a way, and then cans of beans come off the trees.
Kyle, reach up and pluck them off like apples.
If you open up the can and you plant it, you get beans. But if you plant the entire can, you get a canned tree. No, it's much more efficient.
An enormous can comes out of the ground.
An enormous can with canned branches that then later have cans of beans coming down from them.
Science.
So it's actually much smarter.
Yeah, Kyle, what are you, science tonight?
I hate that woman. I hate anyone that's that stupid, regardless of their sex. And he's better off because look, if she was planting beans today, God knows what she's gonna be doing in a few years. One of the dumbest things my mom ever did. And we almost left her right then. I'm kidding. No, but I remember when 9/11 happened, she put a bunch of gallons of water in the basement, And I was down there, like that's where Dad and I's like reloading bench was, where we reloaded ammunition and did that stuff. And I noticed there was like 8 gallons of water over, under the stairs that lead down to the basement. And I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "I don't know. That's weird, huh?" I was like, "We get wake upstairs, Mom. There's a bunch of gallons of water downstairs. What's that about?" She's like, "In case the terrorist attack." And I'm like, describe
well,
this
8 gallons ought to do us through. Yeah.
I'm like, describe this hypothetical attack. And keep in mind, I'm 18 at the time? No, I'm like 16 at the time. I'm like, describe this hypothetical attack in which we really need 8 gallons of water to survive. Well, I guess they attacked the tiny town of Livonia, Georgia, and population 8,000.
First the chicken farms. No, first the Twin Towers, then the chicken farms.
Then the chicken farms. They're
first
coming right
Livonia,
for us.
Georgia, then New York.
And I was like, okay. Well, let's just say that happens. That they organize, that they hijack more planes and crash more jetliners into our small town. How does that take our water away that we already have? She's like, well, I was like, because we have a well. You know this. We have a well.
And a generator.
With enormous amounts
Crash
of water.
into the well.
How many beans had she purchased?
She said, maybe the water gets poisoned. And I'm like, well, they're poisoning wells now? Because they're really bringing it to the little guy. if they're just like stumbling around in the scariest place in the world for a man in a fucking turban, by the way, the deep south of the United States, walking through the woods, I guess, looking for rural areas that live on wells and then poisoning the wells one at a time with, I don't know, a bucket of battery acid. Like,
no, listen, Ahmed, it is so retarded they will never suspect.
I felt retarded with my own plan.
It is the worst tactical plan. They will never defend against the worst possible option. We will attack Georgia towns of population. I don't know what accent it is now, but it's clearly something different. But we will go after Georgia towns of population 10,000 or lower.
Tell me if
we will steal their beans.
In fairness, if they did that, people would be fucking terrified. Like, if you're trying to scare a population, you go after a small town, because every small town will think that they're next.
Whatever happened to that arsenic or cyanide post office scare? Did they catch him? That guy just get away with that?
When was this that you're talking about?
Right after 9/11. The next thing that happened.
That was anthrax. And yeah, they caught that guy. I want to say that guy was an Elvis impersonator.
Are you serious?
I want to know more about this.
See if I'm right. Here's your Google search. Here's your Google search. Elvis impersonator, anthrax, 9/11.
Hey, baby, I'm just trying to fucking murder someone at the post office.
He had a manifesto. It said, I'm doing this, 1, for the money, 2, for the show.
3 to get ready.
With me on this?
No, I get it. I'm there with you, Steve.
Go.
God damn it. That was way better than you gave it credit for.
I tried to help you out. It was way better.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So after the first earthquake that I went through with my ex in LA, and she had never been through one before. So she kind of freaked out, and she wanted us to have like an earthquake survival kit with us, like one at home and one in the car. Mm-hmm. And basically, standard stuff of like, matches, a can opener, like just a couple things like that. Even that, I thought, this is a little much. She had buried beans over. Divorce. And we weren't dating. We were married. Divorced right then. She had buried 45 cans of beans, because that is such a detachment from reality. I get that every one of us was very scared the society was going to break down at the beginning of this virus. And people were, when you get to the grocery store and there's nothing on the shelves, that's a very scary thing to see. And I get that. The idea of if you're in it a couple of weeks and they've restocked by then, and you can suddenly order all the cans of beans you want on Amazon, that's when you maybe go get the shovel.
Yeah.
And unbury the beans.
Unearth
and be like,
your beans.
I overreacted.
Look, you don't ever bury the beans because you've got
You know what I guarantee that bitch forgot where she buried all the beans.
I think maybe
she did not make a map. 0%.